Hey guys, John V from PhoneArena here. Right now I'm taking a quick hands-on look at the just announced Sharp AQUOS Crystal. This phone is coming out shortly. You can get it whether it's on Virgin, Boost, or Sprint. The pricing will vary, of course. If you're going to go with Sprint, it's going to be free with a 2-year contract. And if you go with Virgin or Boost Mobile, you can pick it up outright as a prepaid option for $149. And if you're going to go with Sprint to buy it outright, it's going to be $239. But regardless of the price point, the big talk about this is the edgeless display. It's a 5-inch 720p LCD panel. And I got to say, just looking at the phone, it's pretty astounding just because it's something uncanny, something strange, the way that we haven't seen something like this before. And it's pretty remarkable because there's barely any spacing on the top or the sides of the display. You can see how thin it is around the top. So basically, as soon as you look at it, it's just screen. In fact, it has one of the best screen to body ratios at over 78%. So the majority of the front surface is reserved for the screen itself. You can tell the bottom here though, it has a little bit of bezel that you find typical in your smartphone, but it's really compact, you know, considering that it's a 5-inch display. It doesn't seem like a 5-inch display because of how tiny and the compact size it has to offer. And just that, you know, that edgeless display is just really something we haven't seen before. Now, as far as the design, it's pretty interesting. It's a mid-ranger, and it's constructed out of a combination of stuff. It looks like plastic. The rear has this dimple pattern going onto it. Let me see if I can show you here. You can see the slight dimpling pattern. Matte finish, so it has a nice clean finish. The sides looks like it's metal, or it could be imitation metal, whether it's like plastic, but it complements the design very nicely. It has a hard line look to it, so it's pretty much angular. So it has a rectangular, almost like sharp, boxy look to it, but again, it really makes it very stylish in a way. Display 720p resolution. It's not the highest resolution screen out there, but hey, we can't complain because at 720p, it's still good enough for most things. Let's see if I could actually focus here for you. So you can see for the icons, it still exhibits a fair amount of clarity to it. So from a normal viewing distance, we don't have that much of an issue trying to make it out. At the same time, you know, it has some other great qualities to it, some fantastic wide viewing angles. Colors doesn't seem to be too saturated. It's, you know, pretty neutral with its output. And honestly, it's definitely an attractive looking display. Sharp is known to make some fantastic televisions, and you can see how they transition the technology there to the smartphone. The display looks great for 720p, but the standout here is just the edgeless aspect of it. So looking around the handset, on the left you have the volume control. On top, 3.5mm headset jack, power button, a little bit raised, decent amount of feedback to it. The right is pretty clean. The bottom has a micro USB port, and you have the microphone. In the rear, you have an 8-megapixel autofocus camera with a flash, and the front, you have a front-facing 1.2-megapixel one. It's powered by a quad-core 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor with 1.5 GB of RAM. And honestly, it's not the beefiest hardware. It's fitting for a mid-ranger, but from just looking at it, you know, exhibits a decent amount of speed for basic stuff. So whether it's just opening up applications, you're not going to have too much of an issue with it. Though, kind of guessing like for gaming, we'll probably notice just, you know, some diminished performance with that. But until we check it out, we can't say for sure. It's running Android 4.4.2 KitKat, and for the most part, it looks like a stock experience. You can see the app panel, the notifications panel, the app panel right here. The only thing different about it are just some of the widgets that we see here on the home screen, like the weather one right there. Probably stuff that we're going to see from Sharp here. But for the most part, it's a stock experience. So they didn't talk too much about the software enhancements, whether we're going to see some, you know, enhanced multitasking, but at least you had the basic core Android features intact here, so which is nice for most people. And that's pretty much it. It's good. It's LTE, of course. Try and think, see what else. The other thing you've noticed here with the camera in the front, they've kind of put it at the bottom of the phone just because they've eliminated the bezel on the top side, so it makes sense to have it down there. But a pretty nice design. Pricing is good too. You're gonna pick it up again for free if you're gonna go with the 2-year contract through Sprint, or $240 if you're gonna buy it outright. But if you're gonna go with the prepaid option, whether it's through Virgin or through Boost, you're going to pay only $149. So a pretty good value. And honestly, it's, you know, in an age of quad HD resolution displays out there, this edgeless display stands out equally on its own. It's just very unique and very different from everything else out there. So that's a quick look at the Sharp AQUOS Crystal. So if you guys want to learn more about it, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. Sean B, thanks for watching.